Hi there, this is Vahid from the vrfeducation channel, and today we're going to learn how we can create a new list widget in our application. We're going to also create a plugin for this custom widgets, so we can add it to Qt QVariantList standard widget box and do a couple of things at design time rather than doing them at runtime. So this list new widget going to support a couple of useful operations that we need to have with a list of items. For example, filtering capabilities with some filtering options such as contains, not contains, start with, ends with, and equals, and also data manipulation. It means that you can add or delete data into the list or from the list at runtime. And also you have another option here named clear all, so you can clear all the items inside the list. And in addition to these two useful functions, I provide another way to load data inside these new widgets. For QListWidget, we need to provide a QString list or a list of a string to load item inside the list. But here you can also use QVariantList and get rid of converting those items, for example, numbers, booleans, date, time, and other stuff to QString. It will be done in the background of this widget. And also, I'm not going to talk about creating how to create plugin for this widget because we've talked about it in the previous session in details. So if you're not familiar with that, I recommend to watch those videos and then come back and continue on this one. There's a couple of things here that you should know about if you want to create plugins for these custom widgets, but it's gonna somehow being repetitive for me. So if you're not familiar with this process, pause this video here and go and watch the previous video on this playlist and then come back and continue on this one. And then we are going to see a demo on what we will have at the end of this session. And then after that, we're going to create this new widget from scratch together. Okay, let's see what we will have at the end of this session. If we pay attention carefully and do everything right, we will have a new group inside our Qt Creator standard widget box named vrfeducation widget. And here, you might have at least one new component or one new widget. Its name is vListWidget. So what does it use for? Most of the time when we want to deal with a list of objects or items, especially string items, we put a list widget on our form. So we can add items inside it at design time or again at runtime. And then if we need to do filtering things or manipulate the data inside this list widget, for example, we want to add new things or delete something from the list or even clear all the items inside it, we need to do it manually and add a bunch of widgets around this list widget. By this new widget that I named it vListWidget, I provide all these functionalities that is necessary for working with a list of items for you. And you can also enable or disable them using this property window. If I don't want to have filtering option for end user, it just need to uncheck the filtering option. So filtering option gone. And if I don't need to manipulate data at runtime, I can just uncheck this option. So this is just like a normal list widget. And also you can add items or add strings at design time using values property. So here I'm going to add a couple of items, a couple of numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, 12, 13, 21, 22, 31, and 32. Okay, 34. That's it. So this item will be loaded inside the list widget, just like standard list widget. And let's get these two items back. So let's see how these items works at runtime. If I run the application, you can see items are loaded inside the widget, and I can filter anything that is inside this list widget. And you have a couple of items or a couple of options for this filtering. Contains, not contains, starts with, ends with, and equal. So, for example, I'm gonna filter those items that contain 2. I have only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items here. So I'm going to change it. I'm looking for the item that starts with 2. I have only these 3. What if I change it to equal? That's only one item. Let's change it to 3. Yeah, I have only one item equals to 3. And what if I change it to ends with? I have only 2 items. So this is very useful, and you don't need to spend any time to add this functionality to your list widget. And if you clear the filtering option, everything gets back to its normal state. And also, you can clear all items inside the list. if I just open this action menu and press clear all, so everything gone, and you have nothing inside your list widget right now. So let's add a couple of items. For example, I'm going to add names. Press add, Vahid, Sarah, Ali, and John. So that's it. And if you want, you can filter. For example, I'm looking for Vahid. Oops, something went wrong. Yeah, I should set it to contents. Vahid. So this is it, and we can have filtering option with the new item that added to the list recently. One last thing is the way that we can set data for this list widget. For a standard QListWidget, we need to provide a list of string or QString list. And also for this one, I provide a way that you can send a list of string to this widget, and the data will be loaded inside the widget. And also, I just create another way to load data, and that's QVariantList. We can provide a QVariantList, and inside the widget, I'm going to convert them to a string. So you are not going to deal with the to-string method things inside your code. Okay. And before taking that, I forgot to show you how this single item deletion works. Let's say it. And I want to delete item 7. So if I press it, you can see item 7 delete, 11, 12, 13. And if I'm looking for item 7, there's nothing inside the list because it just deleted from the data source also. So let's go and create. These are some test codes. I forgot to delete them. Let's do a little bit code cleaning. And nothing else. That's okay. So I'm gonna add a push button here, change it to load, and let's go to click slot, and here I'm gonna create a QVariantList under data source. So I'm gonna add a couple of items inside this data source. For example, Vahid 35, 12.3. And let's see what we can add here. Boolean, for example, true. And also an instance of date time. QDate. Current date. And that's it. So I'm gonna call UI.list.widgetlist.set values, and here we have two different overloads. First one is QString list, and the other one is QVariantList. So I'm going to pass data source for this widget. Let's see how it works. You might not believe, but I just implemented and I don't test it. If I press load, you can see all items will be loaded inside the widget, and you can look for example, any item that contains 2. So these 2 items contains 2, and if I type my name, and it's also case sensitive, I need to provide an option also for case sensitivity. You can see the filtering option works, and here you can also delete the last item or even add new items, or at last clear all items. So this is a new list widget that supports all necessary operations for you, and you don't need to deal with anything. And also you can provide data inside the QVariantList without dealing with converting items to string. So let's go to Qt Creator and start creating this fantastic widget from scratch. Okay, let's get down to business and create these handy widgets from scratch together. First of all, in the new project window in Qt Creator, we need to create a project based on this type, Qt Custom Designer Widget, and it's located under other project template. So I need to specify a name for this project. I want to choose vListWidget.project. So this is the project name, and here you should choose proper kit based on the kit that you use to compile your Qt Creator. So I compiled it with, or it compiled with 6.3.2, so I chose it. And here we need to specify the widgets that we want to create. Here I just only have one widget, so the name is vListWidget. This is the name of the widget I want to create. And also I'm going to change the name for this file and also for this one. And I'm not gonna get into much detail for creating plugins for custom widgets because I just checked them in detail in previous videos. And if you're not familiar with the process, I recommend to stop the video here, go and watch the previous video on this playlist, and then continue back on this one. But don't worry, Qt Creator write all boilerplate code that we need to create a plugin for Qt Creator, especially for this one. So I'm not gonna change any codes here. I'm just using this wizard and provide some information. And this information, especially list files, are some metadata information about list widgets. And Qt Creator, based on the information that we provide here, know what to show inside the toolbox. And in description, I'm gonna say that put this widget inside the vrfeducation widget box. And for tooltip, this is a handy list widget. And also here, if the name of instance and the class are equal, just put just make a difference here. I'm just gonna put underscore here, because if you don't do that, when you drag and drop an instance of this widget onto your dialog and you want to compile the project, you will face a new errors that this name is something wrong and it's not a type rather than be a variable. So here I'm going to change the plugin name again. And here, this is the first time from the beginning of the playlist or the custom widget videos that I want to work with resources. So I'm going to change the name for this project, and we will do something with this name in future when we want to add this custom widgets to our applications. Don't forget about it. And that's it. Everything is just fine. And as you can see in this plugin file, I provide some information. This is a file that inherits from QDesignerCustomWidgetInterface, and these methods provide information for Qt Creator. So we don't want to do anything with these files right now. I'm just going to collapse them. Let's go to this part. Here, we need to add a UI file. Some developers prefer to add those widgets in the code, but I prefer to add a UI file and see what we are going to have at design time. So right click here and add new. This time I choose Qt here, Qt Designer form, just a form. So the name is the same as the code classes, vListWidget. That's it. So the wizard will be open, and do not forget to change the name also to the same name as the class for the custom widgets. And we need to do another couple of things here. First, we need to define a namespace. Name space, name is UI, and here we have a forward declaration for vListWidget. Let's also create a private member. UI vListWidget pointer to that class. Also here I need to bring or add UI underline vListWidget to my class. And also I forgot to create a destructor for my class. And here I'm gonna just delete UI. And here after calling the superclass, we need to instantiate UI field member using this class. And finally, I should call setup UI and pass the current instance to this method. Everything is just fine, and we are ready to put some widgets on our dial. It says that this is obsoleted, so let's change it to Qt Designer, and then after that, Qt DesignerCustomWidgetInterface. So that's it. Now I'm going to add a couple of widgets on the form. First of all, the list itself, and then line edit for filtering, a line edit for new items, a push button for adding new items to the list, and a tool button to act as the single edit and also clear all actions to be appeared beside it. And also another push button, tool button here to specify how filtering things should be acted upon these list widgets. So this is it. Let's first change the names. This is lm filter. This one is lm new item. This one is lsd items. It should be btm add, btm delete, and this one is btm filter options. Okay, that's for this part. I'm going to delete the text, and I forgot to also add placeholder things for this line edit filter, and this one is new item. So here I'm going to just add some resources. So I downloaded some files, some PNG files to act as my buttons icon. So I'm going to create a folder named resources here. Resources, and paste them here. And in Qt Creator, I'm going to add them into my resource. So let's open this one using resource editor and add files. Add these two into your resources. Okay, let's compile it. Qt Designer, Qt UI plugin, Qt UI plugin. That's it. So let's get back to UI file, and here I'm going to choose an icon for this button from resources, add, and also for this one I'm going to choose delete the text, and I'm going to choose another resource file, delete. So I'm going to change the size for these two to 20, and also for the button and also for the line edit I'm going to change the height to 30. Height minimum and maximum height to 30. And for this one, not 30, yeah, 30, so that's great. And for this one, I'm gonna change the width also to 30. So this is it. But for this one, I'm gonna choose 45. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm going to add an arrow button here to let me show clear all option. And if I go down here, if I change it to menu button pop-up, there's a button here that let me open a context menu here, and I'm gonna add clear all option or clear all Q action in this context menu. And also let's do the same thing for these ones. I'm gonna change their minimum and maximum height to 30 because I want them to look the same as these ones. And also for this one, I'm gonna change it to menu pop-up button, the pop-up mode, and for the text, I'm going to delete this one. And here, I'm gonna change the bit to 12 because I don't minimum bit and also maximum bit to 12. So we just have a button that indicates something will be pop up if you click on that. And this is the options for these filtering things. And here I'm gonna pack them to a vertical layout, and I'm gonna remove the space because I want them to be packed together, no space between them. Okay. And also I'm going to morph it to a QVidget because I'm going to hide and show it based on the option that user clicked inside the Qt Creator. And let's do the same for this one. I'm gonna assign them, or I'm gonna pack them into a horizontal layout, and also change this one or morph this one to a widget named WDG manipulation. And also this one to WDG filtering, and that's it. And after that, let's add all of them to a vertical layout. So this is it. And I'm gonna also decrease the margin because when we add it in the Qt Creator, there we have another margin. So I'm going to change it to 2, and that's enough, I think. So let's add those actions here. I need clear all action, clear all, and yeah, that's okay. Or the other one is contains. This is a checkable, and not contains. This is the other filtering option. This is also checkable, and starts with checkable, ends with, and equal. These are the filtering options that I'm going to add to this tool button. So this is it. Now let's see how we can add these options or these Q actions to their relevant tool button. For this purpose, let's go to constructor. Here I'm gonna say UI.btn or btn delete.add action. I'm gonna add this clear action clear all to you. So that's it. And for the other ones, first I'm going to create a list of actions, QList of Q action, pointer to Q actions, and change the name or set the name to filtering option actions. And let's add all those actions to this list. UI dot action start with, or let's do it in this order. UI.action not contains, and UI.action starts with, UI.action ends with, and the last one is UI.action equals. That's it. And after that, I'm going to add them. UI.btn filter options dot add actions. Here I'm going to use filtering option actions. That's it. And I forgot to set this one action contains to be here to be checked by default. This is the default behavior for filtering option. Okay, let's see what we have done till now. I want to open a Qt Creator window and see this widget in my widget box, and also drag and drop it on my application dialog. For this purpose, we need to copy the output of this project, the SO file, to two places. One in places here, it is where Qt Creator looks for custom widgets. And the other one is the project that I created as a demo for this custom widget. The name is list-widget demo. And I add the H file, so I'm able to run the application without any problems. And after that, I create I open the Qt Creator for this demo project. Let's see how it works. I'm gonna get back to vrf/documents, and there's a bash file named run Qt there. So I just created the output folder. Yeah, let's run it. Oops, something went wrong. I forgot to add sh. So a Qt Creator project, a Qt Creator environment opened for this project, and here let's add that external library. Add library. This is external library. The path for the library file is where? Let's copy the path here. This is where I copied those files. One more time, I'm going to add library, external library. The path is here. Choose this SO file, and H file also placed at the same place. And I don't need config for Mac and Windows right now. And that's it. Let's run qmake. And if I open the main window, you can see inside the vrfeducation widgets, I have another custom widget, vListWidget. Oops. Something is not correct. Let's see what happened. Maybe I forgot to compile it. Okay, let's compile it. I'm gonna terminate this one and run it one more time. Let's see, yeah, the library had it. Okay, in the main window. Yeah, this time everything is just fine. And there's also something wrong because there's a lot of space thing here. Let's check for this one. Let's clean the project and build it one more time. So I think it should be correct. Okay, let's add. So it seems that something is wrong. Yeah, it seems that the layout does not apply. Let's break it and add them to layout one more time. So this time I'm gonna change them to 2 one more time. Okay, let's clean the output and build our projects. I hope this time everything is just fine. So it's true. Terminate the Qt Creator and run it one more time. No. Let's close all the environment and run it one more time. Again, something is wrong. Let's see what we can do for this. We select widget project. Yeah, the item is because of this. I forgot to change them. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think this time is okay. Let's build it one more time and terminate the output one message file one more time and see. I hope. Yeah, okay, everything is just fine. And I'm gonna run the application to see the output. So everything is okay, and you can see I add a list widget on my form. So let's add a couple of properties here to hide these two options. For this purpose, I'm going to this project. Let's terminate it, and here. So I'm going to H file. I create two bool property named bool underline filtering and also bool underline manipulation. And if you press Alt and Enter on these fields, first option is generate Q underline property and missing members. So it creates a setter and getter option for me, and also a property, a Q underline property. Using Q underline property, Qt Creator will be able to show this option for me in the property window. Now here, after setting the values, I'm gonna say that okay, UI.WDG filtering set visible equal to new filtering. And because I'm going to work with this widget directly, we can get rid of these fields. So here I'm gonna return UI.WDG filtering. I forgot to name it correctly. Filtering. Oops, something. Let's see what what happened. WDG filtering and change or not applied. Okay, let's create it one more time. Bool underline filtering and create those properties. And also setter and getters. Here I'm gonna change the WDG filtering visibility using set visible method and set new filtering for that. And also we were supposed to remove these items. And here I'm gonna return UI.wdgfiltering.visible visible is visible. So that's it, and I can get rid of this option. And for the other one, say underline manipulation. And again, I'm going to create those options for this one. Okay. Seems that something went wrong. We're supposed to that is visible and we're going to get rid of these lines. Filtering. Oh, I duplicated this files. I'm sorry. So everything is okay right now. Yeah, I'm gonna return WDG manipulation dot is visible, and for this part I'm gonna set the visibility directly. See, WDG UI WDG manipulation dot set is set visible equal to new manipulation. And also I'm gonna create a field named QString list underline values. Okay, and let's add those properties for this one also. Here, after any time I set the values for this widget, I'm gonna say that, okay, go and clear all those items inside the list widget on the form, and then add underline values to this list. Okay, that's okay. Let's compile it and see what we have right now. So I'm going to run it one more time. Okay, and as you can see, there's two options on the form. The first one, if I unchecked it, filtering option gone, and for this one, the manipulation thing's gone. And if I just enter some item inside these values things, all items will be applied to the widget at design time. And if I run it, you can see these items are here, and this is also the options and the clear all button here. So let's add these functionalities. First of all, I'm gonna create clear all. This is the easiest one, I think. Oops. Something. Says that something went wrong. Why? Okay, let's do this one. I want to set the trigger for clear all. Here we need to do two items or two operations. First of all, I'm gonna clear all underline values, and after that I'm gonna reset the list widget on the form or on the UI. Clear. That's it. And let's do also this one. If this item click, check if grab the text and save. Let's see what we're going to do. Let's grab the text, auto, text equal to UI.ln new item. Oops, I didn't set the name even true for this one. New items. So ln UI.ln new item dot text dot trim auto text equal to this one, and if the text.length is greater than 0, it means that the user entered something. So we need to append it to values list, underline value dot append text, and also I'm gonna append it to list widget on the form, lst items dot add item text, and also I'm gonna clear UI.ln new item dot clear the entered text, and also set focus on new item line edit one more time. Maybe I need to add another items. So that is it. And let's see what we can do before going to see the output. We add clear all and also begin add. Okay, let's go and also add the clear item. For this purpose, I'm gonna connect. Let's do this. Connect UI.btn delete, and the signal is QTool button. Collect, attach it to or connect it to another slot inside my vListWidget class named, for example, btn delete click. Btn delete click. Okay. Let's create a private slot for this one. Private slot, void. Btn delete clicked, and add its body to CPP file. Here I'm gonna do a couple of things. First, I need to grab the index for the current item. Also, im index equal to UI.lstItems.current row. Okay, current row. And I'm going to check if index is something rather than -1. It means that something selected inside the list widget. So first of all, I'm going to delete this from the values, remove add index, and then I'm gonna clear this one, UI.lstItems.take item, and this is the index. This is it. Let's compile it and see what we have right now in this custom widget. So I'm gonna run this demo project, and okay, let's run the application. So what if I press clear all, everything just gone? I'm gonna add another items here. So this time if I select two and press clear, you can see every time the selected item is clear. So these functionalities are done successfully. Let's do filtering things and see how it gonna works. For this purpose, let's terminate it. For this purpose, when each of these, I don't know why this happened. Maybe something or some settings wrong with my environment. So every time this actions collect, for example, contains, not contains, starters and enders and equals, I need to specify a comparator function to act when we enter some text inside this filter text box. So first of all, I need to attach the current or text changed to one slot here, and after that I'm gonna create a couple of lambda expression. So let's create them. Here I'm gonna use this approach. std, I'm gonna create a function that return bool and receive two string, qstring and qstring. So this is a function. The name is, for example, contains func. And the implementation for this one is a lambda expression. Okay, this one, qstring value and qstring filter. And here I'm going to say return value dot contains filter. So that's it. And also let's duplicate it a couple of times, 5 times, 3, 5. So this one should be not contains, starts with func, ends with func, and also this one is equals func. Equals. Let's change also the condition inside each one, and for this purpose, and with this one is starts with, this one is not contains. Okay, that's it. And I'm gonna create another variable of this type, and the name is comparator func. And let's do one other thing. So I'm gonna, if I open the environment and I run the application, you can see there are some items here. And if I select this one and I open it, you can see both of them are now checked. So I need to uncheck one item when I checked another one. So for this purpose, I'm gonna also create an instance of QAction named priv action. Okay, so let's go to constructor and set underline priv action equal to UI dot action contains. This is the default action. And also for the other one, that was comparator func equals to contains function. Okay, that's it. And the next thing that we should do is to create a private method here, set void update list values. In this method, I'm gonna look for the filtering options and also apply those filtering things based on the input inside the lm filter, and then create a new result and load it inside the list widget. So here I have an item named, for example, filter. So inside it, first I'm gonna create string list result, and that's an empty list. So if filter equal to nothing, or the length is equal to 0, so I'm gonna say that result, you are equal to underline values, the original list. Okay, else I'm gonna do something here, and after that I'm gonna say UI.lstItems clear, and UI.lstItems.add items result. Load the result inside the lst item. So the most important part is here. I'm going to iterate through the values auto item in underline values. And here I'm going to use if That comparator function that I just initialized it with the contains comparator, and I'm gonna change it very soon. And I'm gonna pass the item and the filter. If it returns true, then result, call the result append method and add this item inside it. That's it. That's it for right now. And every time I just changed something inside the element filter, I should call the update list values and pass the argument 1 to this method. So let's see what we have. Let's run it. Here I'm gonna, oops, something went wrong. It seems that I forget to do something here. Result, okay. Maybe here, no, nothing. Here the preaction contains func equal to comparator function, and seems that everything is okay. Let me check it. Okay, it seems that I need to delete the previous one and add the new one. I think something also wrong with this. Let's see what if I add. Yeah, it's okay. So let's add a couple of items inside the list. I'm going to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 2, 1, and that's it. Okay. Let's run it. And now I'm looking for 1. So we can see these 3 items contains 1, and it will be returned 2. Yeah, that's okay. 3. We don't have anything that contains 23, but if I press 3, you can see the item 3. And if I change it to not contains, nothing happened, and this is not working again. So let's go and check how we can solve this problem. Yeah. First of all, I forgot to enable clear button. Clear button enabled. Okay, that's it. And let's add all the slots for trigger of these items here. Action, go to slot. Yeah, for this one. For this one. And for this one. Every time an action clicked, first of all, I need to uncheck the previous one and change the comparator function. And after that, I need to call the update list values one more time with the current text inside the element filter. So here I'm gonna also create another private function, void. The output is void, and the thing is the name update filter option. And here you need to receive an instances of this function. Edit func, and that's it. Let's implement it. Here, first I'm gonna assign the func to comparator func, and after that I'm gonna say prev action dot set checked false, and I'm gonna say underline prev action equal to QObjectCast sender, cast it to Q action pointer to Q action, and at last I'm going to say update list values with ui.ellenFilter.text. And here we need to call this function update filter option with appropriate func. For example, here I'm going to call this method with the contains func. Here I'm going to call it with not contains func. And here I'm going to call it with start with func. This time with end with func. And this time with equal func. That's it. And also we need to do another thing. Here, if I check the already selected Q action, we don't need to do anything. So we can check it if underline priv action equals to sender. So just return. We don't need to do anything. That's it. And I think we need to do another thing here. Let's run it and see the output. And after that, I'm going to talk about it. So I'm going to run the application. Let's delete this one, break the layout, add another one on the form, and let's run it. So here I'm going to add some items 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 3, 3. Let's do this one and 3, 4. So first, okay, I forgot 3, 3. So I'm looking for any item that contains 1. That's okay. And let's change it to not contains. You can see the items changed because I just say if any actions clicked, just update the values with the new comparator. Start with, I have 2 items. Let's start with. End with, I have 4 items. And for equal, I have only 1 item. And if I clear it, you can see the original list will be appear. So if I just click on not equals, let's see what happened. Yeah, the checked was gone. So for this purpose, we can say before return, just say priv underline action dot set checked to true, because it's already true, and if I triggered it, it gets false. So I'm gonna check it one more time, and let's see the output. Okay, let's clear it. Okay, and I'm going to run the application. So let's see it. If I add a couple of items, I'm looking for 1, and if I just press contains one more time, you can see nothing happened, and the check is remained here. So if I say not contains, these items are here, start with and equals. So this is all about the filtering things, and it works quite well. And one last thing we need to add to this library is the way that we're going to support how QVariantList items. So beside the set values, where's set values? Okay, here I'm gonna create another method. Let's copy this one and paste it here. And here I'm gonna say this time you're gonna accept QVariantList. So that's it. And also add a public declaration. Here I'm going to say I have a QString list named values. It's an empty one for each item inside the new values list. Go and add values dot append item.toString. Call the toString toString. This one. Call the toString on each item and add it to the values. And after that, just call the standard one, set values with the string list. Okay, that's it. And let's compile it. Okay, let's stop the environment and run it one more time. Here I'm going to add a button on the form. Let's add a button. Change it to load. And click the slot. I'm going to create QVariantList, QVariantList data source. So let's a couple of items with different item type to this one. First one is string. The second one is an integer. The third one is a floating point, for example. And that's the third one. The fourth is a boolean. And as a fifth, I'm going to use qdate and pass the current and header file and pass the current date to start, and then set li ui dot v underline widget list widget and set values, call set values, and pass data source to this method. So you're not going to do any other things that related to converting these values to a string. This will be done in custom widgets. So let's run the application. And press load. As you can see, all the items converted to a string and load inside the widget. And also you can look for anything that you want. And by default, it's case sensitive. So I should add another option for case sensitivity to this widgets. And for example, if I want to contains 2, these 2 items are containing 2. But if I press 36 and 6.2 contains 6. So this is it. This is the way that vListWidget works, and I hope you enjoy it. This was a handy widget for me, and I hope you all used it in your application and tell me some feedbacks about it. And if there's any issues, let me know about it, and we can try to solve it together. And also, in next session, I'm gonna create a custom table widgets that has some filtering capabilities. And that's also be useful when you want to load a list of some complex objects in your application, and also you want to paginate it, you want to filter it. This will help you a lot. So till next session and another custom widget video. Goodbye.